Hi and welcome to another Type with me. In this video we're gonna talk about type assertions in TypeScript. Alright, so a type assertion let us override a static type that TypeScript has computed for a storage location. This is useful for working around limitations of the type system. Alright, so type assertions are related to typecasts in other languages. But they don't throw exceptions and don't do anything at runtime. They do perform a few minimal checks statically. So here I have const data object, which is eventually an array, right? So if I do this away, like we saw last week, we have here a string array, right? But I just want to open this up. So I want to do something like this object. So now data is just an object. And that's much easier because then when you do something like this, data equals. Alright, we also need to make it not a const, right? But if I do something like this, a1, something like that, yeah, then we don't have a problem because it's an object, right? But if I do this away, it's also not, it's a problem, right? Because then it says, yeah, type a number is not assignable to type string, right? So for this we just do the trick of type assertions, and of course then we have no problem. But this is another advantage, that when we do data.length, well, yeah, it says length does not exist on type object, so then again we cannot use the specific properties of an array, right? So everything to do within TypeScript, and like here we do some type assertions by broadening up the type. Well, then you cannot do specific things for that. But another trick that we can do then is do something like this: assert dot equal data as array type string, right? Then we do dot length equals 3. And then of course I want to do something like console.log. And for the ones that are following my channel, they know that I love Dino, so you want to do something like Dino index.ts, just to, of course I need to do Dino run index.ts, and then of course he's gonna compile it and he's gonna say true, right? But here again we can do something like that. Otherwise he will complain because we have broken up the type a little bit more. So that's a pity, right? So in the latest line we use type assertion with the operator as to tell TypeScript that the data is now an array, and now we can access the property.length again, right? So type assertions are a last resort and should be avoided as much as possible. They temporarily remove the safety net that the static type system normally gives us. So we did it via a type annotation, right? In line A, we override TypeScript static type. And this way of overriding is much safer than type assertions because there is much less you can do. TypeScript's type must be assignable to the type of the annotation. Another alternative is the angle bracket syntax for type annotations. So what we could do instead is also do something like this. Let me show you, but I don't prefer this. All right, I rather use the as syntax than this syntax, but it's more or less the same. Again, it's better to use the other syntax, so I'm gonna go back to the other syntax. But for the completeness of this video, it's great to show you that that is also possible, right? So another thing that you could do is, for example, this one. We have a function here, getSound, and we have an interface animal, and then we provide the getSound towards this method. And what we can do, for example, is this one, console.log getSound, and then of course we do something like an empty object, because we just want to have no sounds, right? And then of course we can do something like this, log getSound, and then we can do something like this, sound blurb, and then name wow, for example, and we can do something else like this, getSound sound music, which is also a sound, right? So what we will do now is execute this script again, and then of course you have, first one has no sound can be made, right? And then second one is blurb, and the third one is music. So you can see, you can just give an object, and when that object has sound in it, well, then we will just return that sound property. So in order to access property sound of an arbitrary object, we temporarily change the static type of object to animal in this case, right? So another great example that I have right here is the dict. Dict here is unknown, and when we want to do something with our dictionary, we can then just look into it and say, okay, type of dict is just an object, and dict is not null, and key is in dict. Well, then we can use this dictionary and just read out that property, right? So then we can get a value property out of that object, right? So we are overriding the inferred static type object with a static type dict, right? It's a great example that I just want to show you how to just use TypeScript in another way, like this. So imagine the following code. We have our name Joris, and it can be null or string, right? So now we can do something like console.log, and then we do something like name.length, and then we here see that our name is possibly null, right? So what we can do then is put this postfix here, right? And then we don't get an error when we write our code. It's really great to play along with this. Sometimes you really need to use it because it's, you're using a library or something like that, and it doesn't have typings or the right typings that you want to, then you really need to use this type assertion. So it's great to play along with it to see what it can do, but if you can avoid, please avoid it. don't use it like this. It's really annoying, and it just helps you on the short run to get no errors when you're writing TypeScript, but then again, on the long run, yeah, it's not always a good case to do so. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit about it, and see you next time. Bye.